Hello everyone and welcome to this video. This video is going to be about chaos coding, also known as vibe coding, which is essentially allowing an LLM through something like CLINE or Cursor to build something in the way that it wants to build it, right? So this is kind of the opposite of long prompts. So the problem with long prompts is a lot of people who are long prompting aren't necessarily developers. And also, to be honest with you, we might not even make the best decisions. So instead, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be chaos coding and vibe coding. So I'm going to talk about what it is. I'm going to talk about MCPs and how they help with chaos coding. I'm going to talk about the keep going strategy, the 4-step plan, right? These are two different types of vibe coding and chaos coding. And then I'm going to show you some very, very super secret system instructions that I've come up with to improve how good your chaos coding is. You're going to want to strap in for this one, especially number 5, guys. This is going to show you exactly some really, really good tips that you probably haven't thought of to make your chaos coding better. So the first thing is, what is chaos coding, right? So if I just show you an example of a non-chaos coding prompt, right? So copy of service-based prompt, for example, you'll see this is an example of a very, very long prompt that does something very specific, right? If I were to chaos code or if I was to vibe code this prompt, instead what it would say is, it would just say build me a Next.js. I would say it's still good to give it a tech stack, right? In my opinion, build me a Next.js project which advertises my company that rents Rolls Royce in Campania in Italy. That's it, right? So this is a chaos coding prompt or a vibe coding prompt, right? So, and then what we do is effectively is we say, okay, so it starts building it, and then you say, keep going, or now give me the next part, or whatever it might be. And you just keep saying that over and over and over and over again until the cows come home, basically, right? So this is the idea behind vibe coding. And for me, it's such an interesting way to do things because it's giving all of the power and all of the thinking to Claude 3.7 Sonnet instead of yourselves, right? So that's why that's interesting. So you can add a few things like make sure to always think about SEO, etc. But that's going to come under number 5, secret system instructions, that we'll talk about in a little bit. So let's talk about MCPs. What MCPs do you need for this to work? Now, these two things are related, the system instructions and the MCPs, but the basic one that I would suggest that you get is the Brave MCP, okay? So ensuring that you have this is probably, it's vitally important, right? So we'll go to Smithery, because I like Smithery. It seems to just work. And we'll say MCP after that. Smithery, it looks like you might need some help with your SEO potentially, so contact me. Let's see. So we're going to say Brave, and we'll just choose whichever one has the most users. Looks like none of them have users. Perfect. So I guess we'll just go with this one. Okay, I can't seem to find like a decent one. So what we'll do instead is we'll go to Visual Studio Code here, and we'll do a new window, and we'll go to CLINE, and we'll click the MCP thing, and then we'll just search for Brave here, and then we'll install this. So this should install this. We're going to need an API key as well. So Brave API key. I believe you get 2,000 free searches a month, or just 2,000 for the first month or something. So we'll just log in here. I think I already do have an account. Okay, so let's see if this works. Looks like it does already work. Perfect. So it looks like this has already been set up. Let's approve this as well. So this is a local search, rate limit exceeded. That's kind of annoying, but that's okay. Looks like it worked. So we've now installed that just using, what's it called? Using the installation process on the MCP servers. Sorry if you can hear blending downstairs, by the way. Okay, so let's go to MCP servers, go to install, and you can see Brave Search is now installed, right? So this is pretty much the main MCP that I would recommend. And the reason for that is because I need it to have access to the internet to look for latest documentation, right? So it needs to have the power to search for docs, right? Now you can, if you want, you can also set up like Supabase, Stripe, all of these different MCPs. I'm not going to, because I just don't think it's needed, because what's really needed is the ability to connect to the internet and check documentation, right? So number 3, keep going. I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. And then I'm going to show you something else, which is, it's vibe coding, but giving like a planning stage first. This only really works with CLINE, because as far as I understand it, Cursor doesn't really have the planning stage system. But let's talk about number 5 here, secret system instructions. Okay, so I'm just going to go to docs.new, and I'm going to show you some examples that really, really have helped me get my vibe coding to where I wanted it to be. So the first one is, if you feel like you need to refresh any documentation because of recent changes, for example, Next.js, Stripe, Supabase, etc., use the Brave MCP at any time in order to look for real life examples on the internet that are recent, right? So that's the first one. What this does is it often will then go and search the internet, and it will find things like real examples. So if I say like how to implement Stripe on Next.js, what I wanted to do is I wanted to look for things like this, for example, this Medium blog article right here. So it's still 11 months out of date, obviously. That's kind of the annoying thing with searching on Google for things. But yeah, this is what I wanted to do. I want it to, at any time that it needs to search online using the Brave MCP and find out information that it might not have otherwise. Okay, so the second one that I like to use is test all code using the browser function. Include verbose terminal logs so that you can effectively bug fix yourself and ensure that everything is working properly at all times. This should be done before task completion every single time, right? So what happens with CLINE is it tends to, I would say, finish a task too quickly, right? And it will say the task is done, and it will be green, right? You might have seen this. I'll show you. Actually, it's here. If I go on here. So it says task completed, right? So before it gets to this stage, every time I want it to open up the browser and test whatever the hell it's just done, right? So let's just add a few things. So I want you to make sure that CSS is working through tests. Everything looks good. All third-party API functionality works completely and is tested, etc. Right? So Stripe, let's say when we add Stripe, or if we add Stripe, then it needs to test that at all times. Okay, and then one of the other ones that I really like to do is make sure everything is actually useful to the user. Do not create anything that is simply placeholder code or base functionality in brackets unless you are planning on expanding on it later. At no point should you say something is implemented when it is only 10% implemented or is pure placeholder code. You are expected to code from A to Z or Z, and not just, I can't believe I just said Z, Jesus, A to Z, and not just placeholder or small parts of code that don't really do what a user would want. And finally, when you need a new .env variable, you should ask me for it, and then add it to my .m, and then test to make sure that is working in whatever order makes sense to you or to the part of the project we're working on at that time. This, we'll just leave it there, okay? So we'll do number 1, number 2, number 3, and then number 4. And then if you're watching this far into the video, I do want to add a number 6, right? This is for the people that actually decide to watch longer on videos. Number 6 is iteration, right? I talked about this a little bit yesterday or the day before. Iteration is so important in this process. These 4 are my current iterative prompts. I started with 0 in the system prompt. Now I have 4, right? As I notice new things, okay, and I will be adding to this as I get better and better with this, but as I do more vibe coding, right, or chaos coding, I prefer honestly, chaos coding sounds so much better than vibe coding. Vibe coding is the worst name that anyone has ever come up with. Chaos coding, as I do more of it, I will come up with more system instructions and I will update you guys and I will keep this whole thing going, basically. But yeah, so let's see what this actually looks like, okay? So first things first, let's add these to the system instructions, right? So we'll go here, we'll go on plan mode. I think I'll keep that the same. Yeah, I think I will keep this the same. I'll add this to the custom instructions though. That makes sense. Okay, so this just says, please plan it from A to Z. This is just for the plan mode, okay? Because I like to do this with all my projects. I don't like to go straight into the act mode, right? And I think for this video, what I'm going to do is the 4-step plan mode, because I haven't seen anybody talk about this, right? So what I'm going to do is please plan from A to Z the entire project. So the next part of the process will know everything. This includes SQL, blah, blah, blah. Plan to do it in 4 steps. So like a basic implementation, a more advanced implementation, a full implementation, then bug fix and full production, I guess. Bug fix and production with testing at the end of each step, right? By the way, this will be in the description of this video, so I'll call this vibe coding, chaos coding, vibe coding, system instructions for CLINE, right? And we'll put these. So this one is for the planning mode, right? So I will just mention that so people know. I hate bloody whatever this is called, docs. So planning mode, and then this is for act mode. I swear to God, who made this software? Like act mode. There we go. Okay, so now we'll put these on the act mode system instructions. So act mode. Okay, I don't know if you can actually have different. Oh, you can't have different. I didn't even know that. That's kind of dumb, actually. Why would they do that? Okay, so we've now set these and we'll say done. And then we'll start a new chat, right? And then basically what you do is you just give a very, very simple prompt. So I'm going to say, make me a SaaS which uses people's search console data and the Anthropic API and their latest model, claude SONNET 3.7, in order to give people their search console data with AI insights, with actually useful AI insights on their projects, right? So we'll press plan here. We'll let this plan first, and then I'm just going to see how this goes. Okay, so it's asked me some questions. It said front-end framework, what's your preference for the front end, Next.js, React, Vue, etc. Backend, Python, Node.js, database. Yeah, so we've got some questions here. I don't know whether I should give it the answers to this or if I should just say get on with it. This is chaos coding after all, so I have no preferences to anything. Build me something good, honey. Okay, so this is quintessential chaos coding experience, right? I have no idea what it's going to build, how it's going to build it, etc., etc. So let's just see how this goes. I won't lie to you guys, I don't have a lot of time today. I'm off to Rowan's in about an hour, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to do all of that in all of this in this video. But I've given you every single thing that you need to be able to do this for yourselves. So let's just press act here. It's going to start. We'll just see how it goes, basically. So this is the basic implementation. One thing I'm going to do quickly. Okay, no, it did it automatically. It's fine. Sometimes it basically it doesn't put everything in a directory, which is obviously terrible, and you don't want that. But this time it hasn't done that, and it has actually just made the project and put it inside a directory. Cursor is notorious for that, by the way. That's why one of the reasons I hate Cursor so much is that, I mean, these guys, they're claiming, you know, they're the best company and, you know, they're doing really well and loads of people are using them. Just put it in the system fucking prompt to create a new directory. It's not that difficult. Please. So it's using some things here that I've never used. I've never used React Query. I've never used Nextauth. I've never used any of these things. So this is very, very interesting to me, how this is, if this is going to even work, how it's going to work, you know, etc., etc. So wait, that didn't work. So I'll just, oh no, it did work. It did work. Okay, so it's, oh wait, no, that didn't work. I need to send. This is why you do need to watch the first bits, because it will sometimes, it will sometimes not work, as you can see. So I just have to redo that. Once it's got to the point where I can just go AFK or whatever, I'll probably end the video. But I think what we'll do is we'll do the first iteration and we'll just see how it goes. This is also depreciated, so we'll have to, oops. So just send this here. I'm just making sure that everything is properly installed. Once everything is installed and the project's ready to go, then I can kind of chill and I don't need to watch it anymore. So let's see. Once that's installed, this failed. Oops. Hang on. It's just getting a bit carried away there. I just need to make sure that everything is installed. This looks like it didn't work, so I'll just send this here. You can see it didn't work, so it said error, basically. I know this isn't quite kind of vibe coding, chaos coding, but you do need to make sure that everything is installed properly, otherwise it's not going to work, right? So honestly, now at this point, it's just doing everything. I'm completely lost as to what it's even doing. I kind of just I was just looking at what it needed, and then it just seems to just be coding everything. So we're officially in vibe code chaos coding mode. We'll see how this does, just so that you guys can get some idea. But this is effectively what vibe coding is, right? It takes away the need of doing ridiculous prompts like this one here, for example, right? This prompt, although it works, it's too controlled, right? So what that means is like number one is I don't know how good this prompt is for SEO, for one thing. I've done it a few times, it's worked a few times, it hasn't worked at other times. And like just generally speaking, I don't know if I'm just messing up the system by giving it all of these different things to do. When instead, what I'm doing now is I'm just using a one-line prompt with a few system instructions and just allowing it to kind of get on with stuff. So one thing that I recommend you do is that while it's doing all of that, right, while you're chaos coding or whatever, start filling in this information here. So we need a Supabase URL. So we'll go to Supabase. I already have one. Here's one I made earlier, as they say. Supabase URL is this one here. No, it's not. It's project settings and then data API. It's this one here. So copy this, paste that here. Anon key, that's easy. It's this one here, paste. Next URL, auth. I was just looking on Google. Basically, you have to run npx run secret. So we'll go to run here. And then I think I should just be able to run that here. Sure. And that should give me a secret key here. Okay. So I probably have to run this here, I would guess. Let's try and do that. No, wait. Oh. What do I need to CD desktop? The only problem with CLINE is that it sometimes puts you in here when you're trying to write. That's the only thing that CLINE does that pisses me off. So CD desktop, and then what is this called? Search console AI, and then we'll run npx auth secret. I already have one, apparently. Just say yes, I guess. .env.local. So it's already put it in there. Okay, nice. So we'll add that here. Sure. And then we need to get the Google client. So we go to cloud. I just know how to do this stuff, by the way. Yeah, it's kind of hard to. You need to know how to do some of this stuff in order to get these keys, right? So client ID is that one. And then secret, I'm probably not going to show. Oh, wait, I'll just delete it. It's fine. This one's secret. Google Search Console API key. I didn't even know that was a thing. I don't think that is a thing. I should have access to it from here. So let me just work out if I can do that. So I will have to probably point it in that direction, but that's fine. So Anthropic, easy. Just go to console.anthropic.com and grab an API key. A Stripe is a little bit more complicated. Basically, you have to install the CLI, right? So if you just go on Google, just go on ChatGPT and say, help me install the Stripe CLI. Once you've installed the CLI, go to your Stripe, right? And then you need to go to also, I'm on Windows, you need to go to that folder, so CD Stripe, right? CD Stripe, wait, downloads. There we go. And then I need to do Stripe login and then open up this link from the terminal. So that should have worked. And it gave me, and then I need to do Stripe listen. Again, I just know how to do these things from a lot of practice making SaaS and things like that. So copy that. CLINE probably will tell you how to do all this stuff, by the way. It's just, I'm just doing it manually while I wait. You don't have to do it now. You can ask for help from CLINE for sure. So you need to put your webhook secret here. And then this is a test Stripe, by the way, so I don't mind showing this on the video. So Stripe secret key, and then, sorry, that's the secret key. Yeah. And then that is the publishable key. Beautiful. Right, so now we have an entire .env, right? So when this is finished, the first run that it's done, the first iteration, I'll just test it out and see how it does for a first timer. Just to quickly go back to the Cloud Console thing, you do need to put some stuff here as well, right? This is already in there though. And then also on data access, this has scope for Search Console, right? Again, CLINE will tell you all of this, right? So once it's finished the first run, you can say, right, okay, thank you for that. Now help me set up all of my .env variables, right? You can put it on plan mode and you can say, help me get all of the .env variables and set everything up in like off the site, off the app, right? Everything that's off site. Okay, so this is the bit that I'm very excited about. I just need to, before this actually does this, I need to set the .env variables. But it looks like it's actually managed to, I mean, pretty good. It looks nice, for sure it looks nice. So I just need to set the .env variables here, .env.local. Should just be able to do that and then save. So now it should start testing. So let's see, it's going to start pressing buttons, etc., etc. So let's kind of follow along with what it's doing. So view pricing, beautiful. 0, okay. Sign in with Google, let's see if this actually works. Okay. Access blocked, has not completed the Google verification process. Oh, I don't have access, that's why. That's fine. I need to go here instead. That email doesn't have access basically. So view pricing, you can see here, right? It did exactly what I wanted it to do. I asked it to, before it goes green, do some tests. Perfect. Amazing. That makes this video very, very worth it, okay? Because it did exactly what I asked it to do. So let's go continue here, continue, continue. Is this actually going to work? That's impressive. I don't think I've ever one shot. Okay, we've got an error, that's fine. So I just need to add use client. So right here, I'll tell you right now, this is iteration prompting at its finest, okay? I'm going to say to it, look, you always make this fucking error, okay? So I'll just add it here. Ensure to always use client when needed, right? This is something that happens quite a lot. If you've ever coded with CLINE, you'll know that it often doesn't use client, right? So I'm just going to do this manually because I don't want to mess everything up quickly. I just want to see if this works where we're at now, right? So this is called Search Console SaaS, right? Search. It's on desktop. Okay, so all I did there was I just added use client to the top and it actually worked. It actually logged in. So that's one part that's actually worked. This is all placeholder data, that's fine. The add a website button is probably not going to work. Let's see. So this part of the process probably hasn't been implemented yet. So this is part of stage 2. Let's just see if Stripe works quickly because that's the real question. I want to see if Stripe works. So view pricing, upgrade. Okay, Stripe does not work from what I can see. Okay, so what we would do here is we would say, okay, not a bad start, right? But before continuing to stage 2, let's fix Stripe, right? So what I would do is I would probably send this, right? I'll just send all of it. I'm going to end the video in just a second, guys. I'm just going to show you this last part, right? So we'll copy this and we'll say plan. Before moving to step 2, please make sure Stripe is working and fix any errors from the terminal. And just press enter, right? So first it's going to plan how to fix these errors, and then I'm going to press act and it will fix those errors. And then hopefully we'll see that Stripe is working. To be honest with you though, it one-shot OAuth, right? Which normally is not the case. It normally takes a lot longer to one-shot or to do OAuth. I'm really, really excited about this, by the way. I am going to be building this entire SaaS out, probably using the methods that I'm showing you in this video, but I mean, it did OAuth, right? Which is something that it normally really, really struggles with. So I'm very, very happy with that. Okay, so again, it's now looking for errors while testing. I'm hoping now it's going to press get started and realize that, okay, it didn't. So I really wanted it to press get started there and understand that it's not working. I'm just going to press cancel here. I'm actually going to say, please test the Stripe integration on browser. It's not quite chaos coding, but I think what I'll do is I'll refine this prompt a little bit. So test all code using browsing, especially Stripe, login, and other third-party APIs. Test them fully, not just whether or not the integration looks good, but that it works, right? Okay, so now you can see it's actually going through the entire process. So let's see if it signs in. It might not be able to actually because it might not be on income stream surfer, which makes it kind of difficult. There it is. It finally realizes what the problem is. I didn't tell it. I didn't point it in the right direction. I just kept kind of going around the point, asking it to test, and then it finally realized that there was a problem. The checkout button had not been implemented, right? So now that the checkout button has been implemented, it now should work when I try and click the checkout button. Okay, so again, iteration coding, guys, I can't talk about this enough. Number 7 is going to be when adding a Stripe product, always have a script that creates all necessary products with correct pricing according to what is showing to the user in the front end, right? Because it wasn't creating the actual products, which is a very, very important part of this, of course. Okay, so the very last part of this video is hopefully Stripe working on this product. So view pricing, upgrade, bada bing, bada boom. This is crazy. This took me half an hour. This normally takes me way longer than this because I haven't pointed it in any direction, right? I've just let it do what it thinks is best at every single point in the process. I haven't told it how to do anything, right? So now I know that something is missing here. There's no, I haven't got a super base table as far as I know. So this won't actually be showing, etc. But I do now have Stripe is pretty much integrated. I would just have to change one little thing here, which is running the SQL, which it probably has given me at some point, right? If I just scroll up here, probably it gave me the SQL at the beginning of the project. If not, that's fine. Okay, so it hasn't actually given me the SQL. So I'm going to add that again to the chaos instructions, right? Again, you can find all of this in the description of this video. Please give me all SQL that is needed to make the project run after the first step, right? No, before the first step. So I'm not going to go into that now. This is done. I'm considering this done. It works. Stripe works. You can see here, invoice payment succeeded, etc., etc. OAuth works. I've never set it up this quickly in my life. I cannot believe how quick this was. Chaos coding, vibe coding, this could be the future of coding. When I get back from Rowan's, I'm probably going to continue this project. I'll probably upload another video, part 2, where I do the rest of this project and actually make it into a SaaS. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you're watching all the way to the end of this video, it's Sunday, guys. It's a nice day. Go outside. Stop watching YouTube. Stop watching YouTube. Get off that fucking scroll, okay? Go and do something. Thanks for watching, guys. You're all legends. Peace out.